Damon Ultrasport diesel pusher just came in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. 198,000 actual miles on this one. A lot of times motorhomes don't tend to see that many miles because usually people tend to drive them somewhere and then let them sit. In point of fact, most motorhomes don't get used enough on the road. Now, all that being said, this one's been used a lot on the road. And then there's some wear and tear that shows because of that. But overall, I've seen worse. I've seen much, much worse with much less miles and much newer. So it's been used a lot, but it hasn't necessarily been beat up on. The fact is, though, she's not necessarily flawless. I'm going to go through and try to do a fair, plus and minus with you as we go around here. But the fact of the matter is, you're pretty hard pressed to find to find diesel pushers in that $20,000 range. It's just not something you tend to see every day. Before getting too far along the inside of any motorhome, and really most towable RVs at this point, I do like to take a quick glance at them when they're all closed up with the slides closed. Now, one of the key areas where motorhomes really do differ from a towable RV is the fact that really you're using them in transit. Not that you can, just that you are. And that's one of the main benefits of motorhomes, is that camping's all about time. It's about getting time back. It's about time relaxing. Motorhomes give you more of that time because you're in it. The moment you turn the key in a motorized RV, we're camping, man. We're on vacation. A, towable experience, by contrast, your camping doesn't really begin until you get there, get unhooked, and get leveled up. Now, one of the things I really liked, and understand, let me step back real quick. You can see how this rocking chair, this recliner, is actually not against the wall. So there's even more room here than you're seeing right now. Like a good extra, 6-8 inches, something like that. But getting through this rig and accessing everything in transit is simple and easy. Walk through middle bathroom here, everything is, very wide open, easily accessed. Pardon my gloves over there. It is cold today, as you probably noticed by the snow when the video began. Another thing here, very uncommon, more classic feature, is a north-south bed. It makes it much, much easier to have actual 80-inch long residential size bedding, but it also means that the bed is very accessible in transit. And that is something some motorhomes suffer from. The cabin might be accessible in transit, but often the bedroom is not. And this one, it's fully turtle-friendly, as they say. Now, there are some good things. There are some bad things about this rig. But the fact is, we try to have it priced accordingly to the balance of those good and bad things. And I'm going to try to do my best to be fair with you as we go through so you can make a more educated purchase decision. We got our big sleeper sofa over here, so if it's more than just a couple of you, or if you have a guest for a period, you can fold that out. Day-night shades through all the windows, and really sharp-looking cabinetry all the way through. I really miss that classic honey oak look about things. Now, the ceiling liner. I've said in a lot of my motorized videos that the ceiling liner really tells the tale. It's sort of like a sneak peek into the DNA of a motorhome. Because, things like this, you can see where the air conditioner has blown, just particulate from the air that has been caught around the ceiling liner. And you can see where the previous owners really did try to clean that. The trick is, that stuff just doesn't really clean easily. Now, it does very good at knocking down the noise in an RV, but it's like once that stuff starts to get kind of stained up, it pretty much always seems to stay that way. We've got our, very traditional third chair here. The captain's chairs can, in most motorhomes, flip around to expand your living space. I tell you what, though, up here in the cockpit area, I do really like all the windows around this thing. Now, here, there, and everywhere through the RV, there's little signs of, wallpaper bunching up in funny little ways. Like right here, you see it. A lot of times that's due to heat expansion and contraction of that material. There's a couple spots, like in the bedroom, I'll show you one, where I think that there's been a leak to this RV, and I have a lot of reasons to think that. And I'm more than willing to show you those things. I'm not here to try to hide that stuff from you. The cockpit area, pretty common. Known defect, the captain's chair here, the power seat does not work. So this thing is pretty much how it is right now. I'm sure that's something that could be worked on, but it's not something that we've diagnosed given the dollars and cents on this. Over here we do have a full leveling system, which is a nice little feature. Cummins diesel, Freightliner chassis, Allison transmission, Takancha brake controller. She is set, ready to rock and roll and do some towing down the road. That being said, a big rig like this, I don't have the hard tow data on me, because when you're not a dealer of a product like this and you're looking at one that's this old before good records were published on the internet, it's exceptionally difficult to locate that information. Suffice to say, any sort of car or even horse trailer you want to put behind it in a bumper pull variety should be fine. Like a lot of motorhomes built during the classic era, you do have a updated entertainment center here, both in the living room and in the bedroom. You'll see upgraded screens and updated screens. Very common, two-person diesel pusher dinette. And of course that can extend out if you need a little bit more guest space. Now, if you look over here, you can see a line in the floor. And then if you're walking in it, it's not soft, but there is a noticeable little divot, a deflection right there. I believe that is one area where some level of water penetration had accessed this coach. That being said, I've walked all over it, and it doesn't seem to really be giving me any problem. So it could just be water pooled and stained there. I don't know. And the tricky part is, I don't know, because there's no like Carfax for camping. The best I can do is play crime scene investigator for camping, and this is the best I've been able to determine. Dang it, I am a sucker for that honey oak wood tones. When I was camping with my grandparents as a little squirt, this is what cabinetry looked like in RVs, and I have always been a sucker for it. 10 cubic foot fridge freezer with a big vertical pantry beside. This was made before those 4-door fridges were a little more common. Bigger max air vent fan here in the kitchen area to exhaust some heat, get you some fresh airflow, and it does have a rain sensor, thankfully. Moving back through here, there are sliding pocket privacy doors to close off the middle walk-through bathroom from the rest of the coach. Nice large corner shower. And this RV is definitely tall enough that even a person like me, if I stood in here, I'd have no headroom problems in that. Now, I like how they kind of arranged this bath area, because somebody can move in and out of the actual bathroom facility through what looks like that closet door on the right, and you don't feel like you're cutting the camper off. You're really sort of out of the way. It's this neat little, just around the corner sort of thing that they created here. And once again, bigger vent fan here for superior airflow. Now over here, we've got excellent closet space with plenty of dresser area below. Let me take a second to open this up. One of the things that I thought was reassuring, though, was the fact that, this thing's obviously had a lot of miles. 198,000. Not a lot of motorhomes seem to ever get there. But I noticed that, the mirrors and stuff aren't all cracked up, so it doesn't look like they went, hard miles off-roading or anything like that. Now, this is set up. If you do want to throw a little Combo-Matic washer-dryer in here, you could. But right now, it looks like it's got the original factory shelving in place. That could very easily be removed. So this is our bedroom slide, and as I said when the slides were closed, this does have a very interesting feature in that it has a north-south bed, not often found in a diesel pusher. But it makes the bed more traveling friendly, and when that slides open, you certainly don't feel like you're lacking space in here. Of course, that rear window and these big mirrors right there help open that up quite a bit as well. Now, one of the things I mentioned is I believe there's been an area of water penetration back here in the bedroom, and what leads me to think that is that there are several areas where the ceiling liner is stained. One of the things that I've mentioned quite a bit in motorized RV tours is the soft touch ceiling liners. If there has ever been water exposure, the water that'll run through the roof and get onto the ceiling liner will stain this because of the glues used in the adhesion of this to the roof material. That being said, what I can also say with confidence is that if that was actually the case, it was brief, because this is not sagging down. This is still, everything is still rock solid. And then I noticed a couple little funny things like this little corner. I can't tell if that's had a leak or if it's just the contact wallpaper kind of wobbling on me a little bit. I'm actually inclined to say, given the the age and the general condition of the RV, that it might actually just be heat expansion and contraction and condensation causing little things like that. But it is difficult to say. And I don't ever try to gloss over anything. I don't try to hide anything. But, overall, like I said, for a diesel pusher in the $20,000 range, you're going to be hard-pressed to do much better than this. If you're like the type of person you're looking to go, like, you want to go to the racetrack, you know, once a year, or you go to a horse trailer event, and you don't want to have to get a big truck and like a gooseneck living quarter trailer. You just want to have something to pull a little bumper pull there, but you want an area to get out of the sun when you arrive at your destination. I think that this could be good for that sort of, you know, casual sort of user. I think that there's still plenty of use left in this rig. Now, just prior to the filming of this RV, we had just enjoyed a really hard freeze here in southern Michigan, followed by an 80-degree swing from negative 40 wind chill up to 40 degrees air temperature. And it is a sweet recipe for what we call Michigan mud season. So occasionally if the camera gets a little wobbly, it's because I'm trying not to step on remaining little icebergs or sink my foot into a hidden pile of quicksand. We are a wide body rig. We've got our generator up front. I haven't personally checked that. I have no reason to believe it's not working, but before you take it home, I would expect you want to see and hear that generator run. Full basement storage down below, of course. I've noticed a few things, like, again, given the age and the general condition of the RV, I think this would be a best suited RV for someone who has some handy person experience, whether you are a mechanic, a carpenter, something like that. Like little things like I can see the front of this slide awning starting to tear from a little bit of wind buffeting. That will happen over time with any of them. I can see little things like just things I know to look for from a ton of experience and training. The slide seals are okay, but I noticed the slide seals on the top inside of the Super Slide looked approaching questionable. So it's one of those things that the coach is probably good right now. It would benefit from an owner who can keep it in working order. One of the big questions on anything, especially motorhomes, is tires, because these things are not cheap to replace. And overall, I'm not disappointed with the tires that I see here. One of the benefits of a coach that does actually have a lot more miles on it is that the tires tend to be replaced with greater frequency, and they tend not to be dry rotting due to age, and that looks to be the case here. Now, it could definitely enjoy a bath. The RV had been in storage through the bulk of the early winter season, right before we got this handy frost or thaw that we are going through currently. So, it's got normal winter storage grime and dust and stuff on it. I can also see where some of the original factory decals have faded and been removed over time. But again, that's actually, in my view, a positive thing to look for, because that means that the owners were on top of things like preventative care, maintenance, upkeep, cleaning, etc. Let me get over here. This slide awning above the bedroom slide looks to have fared a little bit better than the bigger one, but it's also smaller, so that makes sense because it will have, been subject to just less weathering due to time and all kinds of things. I see different areas like around windows that have been resealed. I don't see inside where there have been leaks around windows, so that does make me think it was proactive and not reactive. That is a power awning. I've not personally touched it, but again, I have no reason to think that it's not in working order. Again, before you take it home, we'll pull it up to the shop and we'll plug it in and let you push the buttons to your heart's content. And that is, I believe, an aftermarket upgrade. That is a Truma AquaGo on-demand water heater. So apparently somebody took a cold shower once and said enough of that and replaced the water heater that was a tank variety, gas and electric, for a propane only on-demand water heater. And let me look at the other. This is like the one tire I haven't looked at. Yeah, looks good. Looks just about like the rest of the tires. Power step works like a champ. Like I said, mechanically, the only thing I believe that's not in ideal working order is the driver's seat. Everything else seems to have fired right up. But, I don't expect you just to take my word for it when there's money on the line. I would encourage you, give our guys a call, ask your specific questions. They'll get those answered. If that sounds good, come visit in person, take a test drive, and if that works, then great, take it home. And if not, no sweat, guys. We're more than happy to put in the effort, and all we ask for is just that opportunity. Give our guys a chance to do their jobs, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. So, whether you need a vehicle to go with this, a package deal, tow dolly, tow bars, just financing, or, hey, cash deals, those work great too. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.